Today on Broncos Actually, we are joined by law alumna Guissu Baier, owner of the People Collective. What made you choose Santa Clara University's School of Law?
I'm Iranian American. Culturally, I was raised very much to choose one of three paths, either becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. I was very much encouraged both because I guess I was told I was quite argumentative as a young child to pursue law as a path. And so it was kind of always what I was going to do. I chose Santa Clara for a variety of reasons. I knew I wanted to be in the Bay Area, and I knew I wanted to have and sort of intentional and intimate education when it came to my law school. And so really between the values behind the Jesuit education, the location of Santa Clara and its inherent, sort of beauty, it was a no-brainer to accept my offer to join Santa Clara for law school.
How has your law degree helped you?
The main advantage that I've gotten from my law degree is learning how to think. The challenge and the rigor of how to problem solve and how to think is fundamental to the work that I've done throughout my entire career. And it served as a differentiator in terms of the work I do today with early stage startups on people and culture, because people are not often accustomed to what we call first principles problem solving and thinking when it comes to the people related decisions.
Tell us about your career path.
After graduating law school, I joined Littler Mendelson, which is a global labor and employment law firm. It's a specialized law firm in that it only focuses on labor and employment. I was there for 4 years, had a remarkable experience. And as a litigator, what I learned was that a lot of the problems that I was being asked to solve were failures that had happened long before I could even help intervene. So I was really eager to get closer to the root cause of what had led to those conflicts. And I thought, okay, so what I need to do in order to do that is go in-house. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in-house. I had this opportunity from Visa, the global payments company. I was there for 4 years. It was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that work. I was living in the Valley at a time where employment law was seeing one of the most coveted areas that companies were seeking out, because you had Uber and DoorDash, and then eventually I joined Instacart. So I spent the next couple of years at Instacart during what is now, one of many inflection points. We went from about 150 employees on the corporate side to 1,000, tens of thousands of shoppers to hundreds of thousands of shoppers during that, two-year period.
After Instacart, you began your work with VCs. Then what?
I tested out an opportunity to work at this seed stage fintech fund because I thought, VC seems like kind of a cool opportunity to leverage my experiences. And that taught me a lot in a short amount of time about the business of VC, enough to identify a gap. And so in terms of like that entrepreneurship lens and long-term value creation, I started to see gaps that as an outsider was unique to my perspective. And one of those gaps was that venture funds have what they call platform teams. They have teams that help their portfolio companies on various dimensions: marketing, talent, finance, that sort of thing. And on the kind of human capital and talent side, most of them really focused a lot on recruiting. But where they don't have full-time dedicated support typically, and that's not true for all VCs, is on the human capital side. Building culture, mission, vision, and values, how to work together as a team, how to think about a performance culture, how to think about developing teams. And so I developed that into a thesis that, like, what would it look like if I created a company where we could have the VCs as our clients, so they don't have to hire someone full time, but we can then access what they have, which is a volume of companies that need the kind of services that we want to be able to provide. So I don't have to spend my time on like marketing and that sort of thing, and giving them access to fractional access to our services so that we can be effectively an extension of their services without being there full time. So in the fall of 2019, the People Collective was born.
How does long-term value creation factor into the decisions you make for the People Collective?
When I think about long-term value creation for the People Collective, at the heart of it, to me, is relationship building. Everything about how our business operates is premised on relationships. I think at the crux of it is like a lot of sort of coffees and lunches and, hey, let's just get to know each other and let me sort of decide and assess. And so not when I need you, but before I need you. Building those relationships and those networks early and before you need them is really key in terms of long-term value creation. And I think adjacent to that, our reputation is critical to our success as a business. And so it's the little things. It's the, oh, sure, I'm happy to do 10 minutes. Like, no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to bill you for that. Or let me connect you with somebody who I think would be really helpful to you proactively. Let me share with you some materials and articles that I came across that I think, reminded me of a conversation that we had a few weeks ago, and asking for feedback. We always ask for feedback, trying to learn and grow and do better. And so I think that's sometimes what sets us apart, but we really think about like what our differentiators are. And some of it is around how we approach problem solving. And being very direct is another thing that we brand ourselves on because it's kind of authentic to who we are. It's key to sort of the reputation that we have out there for being, tough but effective at what we do.
What does an entrepreneurial mindset mean to you?
Good question. Entrepreneurial mindset in my mind means growth mindset in my mind, always growing, learning, teaching yourself and wanting to understand and evolve and grow. Growth mindset is a big part of it. And I think it's also taking the leaps of faith, but balancing it with some deliberate decision making. Some of the best entrepreneurs out there, even the really controversial ones, are they take major leaps of faith and they see things that others don't see. So I think it's leaps of faith, not just in the decision, but in yourself, to know that you're seeing something that maybe somebody else doesn't see, and to believe enough that it could become something as amazing as you've envisioned it.
Thank you, Guissu. Subscribe and check out our next video.